Awesome.
Then here, coming out of the heart, this thing right here, this is the pulmonary trunk artery, and right behind it, immediately behind it, that's the aorta. Ascending aorta, arch,
So the
descending
arch,
aorta.
So the arch is inferior to the ascending aorta is inferior to the arch based on what you just did,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, coming out of the aortic arch, there are two branches. On a human, there are three. Everybody got that? Okay, the first branch, brachiocephalic trunk artery.
Okay.
The second branch, left subclavian artery. Okay, the brachiocephalic artery has three branches of its own. First branch is right here. That's the right subclavian artery. And then two more branches. The middle branch is the right common carotid artery, and the left-hand branch, that's the left common carotid artery. So the three branches coming out of the brachiocephalic trunk are the right subclavian, the right common carotid artery, and the left common carotid artery. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then the left subclavian artery comes off the aorta. It does not come off the brachiocephalic trunk. Mm-hmm. Okay. So here you can see, up in the neck, you can see the left common carotid artery and the right common carotid artery, which is right next to the internal jugular vein. They're both together right there. Okay. Okay, so that's the arteries up here that we need to. Oh, no, they're not. That's the subclavian heads out into the arm. As it passes through the armpit, it changes its name. It's a gradual change, and there's no abrupt transition. It's the axillary. As it goes through the armpit, it's called the axillary artery. And then in the arm itself, running along the humerus there, at that point, it's called the brachial artery. It's all the same artery. Subclavian, axillary, brachial, all the same thing. Okay. Different regions, different names.
The subscapular artery?
Subscapular artery. This is the subscapular vein right here.
Okay.
And the artery runs with it. So let's see. Here's subscapular vein on this side right there, and you can find the artery running with it if it's there. I don't see it here.
Injection wasn't
probably been torn. So let's take
It's
a look
right
on
next
this.
to it.
Yeah, they run together. Now the subscapular artery comes off at different places in different cats. But you look for something running right along with the vein going back to the scapula, and I don't see it on either side here.
Would it be this guy right here? Is that too small?
No, it's too small.
Okay.
I don't see it on either side. So it's probably been torn during the dissection. If I see it, I'll be wandering around in a little while, and if I see it, I'll call everybody over and you can take a look at it, okay? You just know that it's going down toward the scapula with the vein. Okay, let's take a look at these veins. Here's the superior vena cava. Okay, the superior vena cava gives off these two brachiocephalic veins, and then they branch into this. This is the external jugular vein, the internal jugular vein, and the subclavian vein. Okay? And this looks like this one right here is a subscapular vein. Okay? The subclavian vein continues out toward the arm, becomes the axillary vein in the same place that the axillary artery becomes axillary artery. And then it heads into the arm as the brachial vein. Okay. And that's as far as we go in this course.
Okay.
It goes farther, but that's as far as we go.
Okay.
So that's all the veins up here. Oh, there's an azygos right here.
Yeah, right there.
Right here. The last tributary to the superior vena cava before it pours into the heart. Right there, that's the azygos.
Where does that come from?
It drains the back, the back muscles and the vertebrae.
Okay.
Okay. All right. The inferior vena cava heads south. That's that right there.
Is that the descending order right behind it?
No, the descending aorta is under the lungs.
Well,
There it is
okay.
right there.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Descending aorta. Now the descending aorta goes right through the diaphragm. There's a diaphragm muscle right there, and pokes through into the abdominal cavity. So we lift up all this stuff, and there it is right there. There's the aorta coming through the diaphragm. Two branches off the aorta as soon as it emerges in the abdominal cavity. The first branch is this one here. It's the celiac trunk artery that goes to the stomach and the spleen. The second branch is this one right here. It's superior mesenteric. It goes to the small intestine. Okay? All right. Then the aorta continues along and gives off a branch on each side to the kidney. That's the renal artery. It's a paired set of arteries. There's renal artery on the left, and there's another one just like it on the right. You with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Then the aorta continues on down and branches down here toward the pelvis into the external iliac artery on the left and the right, and then medial to the two contralateral external iliac arteries are the two internal iliac arteries coming off a central stem. All right?
It's like
Okay.
a little Y.
This external iliac artery goes out into the leg as the femoral artery. There it is, running right along where the femur is. And then coming off the middle, right
That's
there
that's yeah.
is the proximal caudofemoral artery. It's not this one. Everybody sees this one and thinks that it. This is we don't learn it in this class, but here it is, so I might as well differentiate it. This is the medial circumflex, which isn't in our curriculum, but it's there, and it's not there on every cat. So don't confuse that with the proximal caudofemoral. All right?
What's caudo a reference to?
Caudo?
Yeah.
Back of the leg.
Back of the leg.
Yeah.
How about
In a cat, it's cephalid and caudad instead of superior and inferior, because
Okay.
it's forward and backwards,
Got it.
not
Okay.
vertical.
Okay.
Good? Okay, so the femoral artery continues on along, and then it branches into two major branches. One follows the superficial part of the leg on the inside. That is the saphenous artery. And then it's the deep branch, which is the main branch, goes to the back of the knee. There it is right there. That's the popliteal artery. And that's as far as we go.
inferior mesenteric artery?
Right here. Forgot it. I'm sorry. That's it right there. Goes to the large intestine.
Could you do the portal vein system? That cat has it injected really well on it.
Which one?
The other one right have out.
Yeah, can.
Okay.
Yeah, sure
Awesome.
can. Do we need to see these veins before we do that? Here's inferior vena cava. There's the renal vein. The inferior renal cava goes down and branches into two common iliac veins, not external and internal, but common. Okay, so here's the left. Let me hook it. There's the left common iliac vein. And there's the right common iliac vein right there. Now, the common iliac vein branches into two branches, or I should say receives two tributaries. The internal one is the internal iliac vein. It's right there.
It's the first branch, right?
Yeah. And the remainder, this right here, is the external iliac. And it's the external iliac following the external iliac artery, goes out into the leg and becomes femoral vein. The femoral vein. Then the femoral vein divides into the great saphenous, not saphenous, but great saphenous vein, and the popliteal vein. Good? Okay, let's go to this other cat. We'll take a look at the renal portal or hepatic portal system. Somebody just put something on our bulletin board. Okay. The hepatic portal system is that system of veins not going back to the heart the way true veins do. It's a portal vein system, so it goes to the liver, to a second capillary bed, which is located in the liver. The first capillary bed is all through the digestive tract. The stomach, the spleen, the small intestine, the large intestine, pancreas, all that stuff. It all contributes to it. Okay, so here we go. To get your frame of reference, I always do this for myself. There's the aorta, there's the celiac trunk, and there's the superior mesenteric arteries, all three arteries. You with me on those? Mm-hmm. Okay, right next to the celiac trunk, running in the opposite direction, is the gastrosplenic vein. The gastrosplenic vein is carrying blood out of the stomach and the spleen toward the liver. Running along, but in opposite directions, to the superior mesenteric artery is the superior mesenteric vein. Now this one looks like it's overinflated with plastic.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, it's gigantic. So the superior mesenteric vein and the gastrosplenic vein anastomose right there to form the hepatic portal vein. And it's the hepatic portal vein that goes into the liver, carrying nutrient-rich blood from the superior mesenteric, which drains the small intestine, And the gastrosplenic, which drains the stomach and the spleen, carrying all that blood into the liver.